What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another episode of NBA Weekly. I'm your host, PB the Plug, and in today's episode, we have to talk about my New York Knicks. We scorching 7-game win streak. Quick shout out to our crosstown rival, I guess, the Brooklyn Nets. They also on a 6-game win streak. I think this is the second time in the Nets' existence that both teams are on a win streak this long at the same time. So that's kind of cool, even though our ride was whatever. Catch up. We had 7 games. Y'all had 6. Y'all need one more to catch up, and our streak ain't ending no time soon. Boom. Y'all know me. I'm a Knicks fan. I pride myself on being a level-headed, non-biased Knicks fan or any fan of any player in the league that I like. You know, when one of my favorite players ain't playing good, I have no problem going on a podcast, on YouTube or Twitter or any outlet and saying, hey, they're not playing good. When the Knicks suck, I have no problem going on a podcast or any other outlet and saying, hey, the Knicks suck. But I try not to be that guy that always finds a way to bring up their team. But I love these type of situations because I finally get to speak about my team in a positive light. Y'all know how we've looked over the last few years. It has not been good. It has not been too many highs. So to now have a 7-game win streak right now, playing the brand of basketball that we're playing, makes me happy. It also makes me happy because just not that long ago, maybe a month and some change ago, I was a guy who was saying, hey, the Knicks need major change. We may need a new head coach. You know, Thibodeau may not be the answer anymore. His voice may not be ringing off in the locker room and be as powerful as it once was during that Coach of the Year season. You know, the guys may have tuned him out. We may need to go to Johnny Bryant, a younger voice, somebody who's connecting with the players on a day-by-day basis a little bit more. We may need something major to happen to wake up this team. Little to my knowledge, we needed small adjustments. And those small adjustments have us now looking like a legitimate playoff team out east who can play with anybody on any given night. One of the main things I've seen over the 7-game stretch that has really stood out to me just from a visual standpoint is the communication on the defensive side of the basketball. Anybody that knows Tom Thibodeau knows he loves defense. All of his best teams, or why he's even a head coach today, starts on the defensive side of the basketball. And for us early in the season, we had too many lapses, too many times that we didn't communicate or get back in transition. We gave up a lot of dumb and easy baskets. And in this league today, you can't afford to give up as many open looks or easy layups because that's going to come back to bite you every time in an in-game situation. And you look at the box score and you lose this game by 2. You lose this game by 3. You lost that game by this possession, or one possession here, one possession there. And before you know it, you're below 500. And you're looking at the box score like, damn, if we didn't give up that basket, if we won that possession, if we didn't do this, if we communicated on this play, our record is probably a lot different. So to see us make that switch this early in the season before it got too late is making me extremely happy. Another thing that comes from is the new lineup and rotations that we have. Derrick Rose is out of the rotation. Cam Reddish is out of the rotation. Evan Fournier is out of the rotation. This is something that's a little bit new from Tom Thibodeau because over the last few years, he's had these veterans that he's been able to rely on. Derrick Rose, who I also love, but Taj Gibson, Fourniers of the world, the Nerlens Noels and the Alec Burks, the Elfrid Paytons. These have been, staples for Tom Thibodeau to rely on to get the job, quote unquote, done. Now, he's made a change, and I also feel like he's kind of forced because of how the roster looks to depend on some of that youth that all of us Knicks fans have fell in love with over the last few seasons. Mal McBride is getting some minutes now. He's in a rotation. We got Quentin Grimes starting. You know what I mean? Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin are part of that bench mob and that bench club. Jericho Sims is getting minutes and opportunity. Those are the names that all of us Knicks fans have been calling upon to see more growth and opportunity given to those players. And now he's done it, and it's equal to winning. So, the first thing we have to address is the core, the main 3. So over the span of this 7-game win streak, Julius Randle was averaging 27 points per game, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. He's shooting 42% from the field, 33% from 3, 83% from the free throw line, and he's a plus 12 and plus minus. A plus 12. Julius Randle is playing phenomenal basketball right now. This is the Julius Randle that we paid that money for. This is the Julius Randle we expected to see after the most improved player year. Last year was not the Julius Randle. From the body language to the performances, to the lack of being locked in on the defensive end of the basketball, all of the last year was not what we wanted or thought we were getting when we signed Julius Randle. Does Julius Randle need to have a year like the most improved player year to be a very good player or to earn that contract? No. But I definitely think that this Julius Randle that we're getting right now is what we played for. We don't need MVP Randle. We don't need him to do anything that we don't know he can do already. We don't need him to be anybody. He doesn't even need to be some type of crazy all-star. But if he can be this Julius Randle, the Knicks will always have a chance to win on any given night. You give us this type of performance and this type of production, and you give us some locked-in moments on the defensive end and buying in on that end, and we can beat anybody. Does Julius Randle have to average 27 and 11? No, I don't mean that. But I mean being a great teammate, being able to knock down free throws throughout the stretch of a game when it's going back and forth and it's very tight like last night in Indiana, being able to have possessions where you're on the island with, Tyrese Halliburton, it's just you, and you hold your own for us to get a very, very big stop. That's the Julius Randle that we need. Not the Julius Randle from a few nights ago that got tossed out in the game we were blowing the team out in. Not a Julius Randle who pouts whenever his shot ain't falling. Not a Julius Randle who doesn't want to see anybody else shining if he ain't shining. We need Julius Randle, the great teammate, the locked-in defender, and the guy that can make big shots down the stretch of a game if he has the hot hand. So shout out to Julius Randle. Jalen Brunson, the guy that some people tried to say that we overpaid for, which was crazy to even say. This guy's giving us 20 points per game. He's giving us 2 rebounds a game, 6 assists, 42% from the field as well, 50% from 3. And he's giving us 97% from the free throw line with a plus minus of 8.9. Brilliant. Floor general. He's a Tom Thibodeau type point guard where he's not limited. He's just not a guy letting the 3-ball fly all game. He can maneuver, penetrate, get into the lane. I seen him do a turnaround fade on a big the other night. He took a big in the post, pivoted, turned around, and hit a fadeaway in the mid-range. This guy is a competitor. He's a winner. He's a great teammate. Anytime you see his post-game interviews, he's talking up somebody else. This dude is clutch. He makes the big-time moments. The other night against the Bulls in Chicago, I know y'all saw Alex Caruso hit the flow. That was a Jalen Brunson thing. He's tough. He's fierce. And he battles. He competes. And I think that's what this team needed. We needed a point guard who was going to be reliable and be there every single night. And having a floor general like him, who can knock down threes, knock down mid-range shots, get to the free throw line, convert at the free throw line, and just give us effort on the defensive side of the basketball, has brung everything together in this team. That's going to be one of the best signings of last year's offseason. Remember that. R.J. Barrett, a guy who early in the season we always looking like, oh, man, we gave him that money for real. I mean, we all scratching our head. You know what I mean? We always like, holy cow, this don't look that good, man. R.J. Barrett, what's going on? A guy that was pressing the issue. I'm talking about just shooting. I'm 1 for 11 here, 1 for 9 there, 0 for 7 here, just forcing the issue. Things have slowed down. We've gotten to the rhythm of the season. R.J. Barrett on his 7-game winning streak, 22 points per game, 6 rebounds a game, 2 assists, 45% from the field, 36% from 3, 74% from the free throw line. Low, but us Knicks fans are happy with that because we had, those moments over the last few years where R.J. Barrett was atrocious at the free throw line, and his plus minus is also a 12 like Julius Randle. R.J. Barrett, love the way he's playing off of Randle and off of Brunson, but also picking and choosing when to get his. I think these three all flow together because one night R.J. Barrett can be the guy. One night Brunson can be the guy. One night Randle can be the guy. But I think, and I've said this since we acquired Jalen Brunson, the important thing for these three were going to be how to be effective in winning basketball when it ain't their night. How can Julius Randle contribute to winning basketball when R.J. Barrett has it going on and then Brunson has it going on and they're the top 2 priorities down the stretch and not Julius Randle? How can R.J. Barrett find himself contributing to winning basketball when it's Julius Randle's night? I think the easiest one is Jalen Brunson because whether it's R.J.'s or Julius Randle's night, he's going to be the floor general and the point guard, controlling the pace of the game, calling the shots, getting us organized. And the ball is going to find its way back to his hands because he's naturally our point guard. But the other two, I've had my major concerns with, if their shot is not falling, how can they be productive? And I think a blessing in disguise was RJ Barrett struggling in the first portion of the season because it forced him to find ways to be impactful. And I think right now, winning and seeing the outcome of winning is getting Julius Randle locked in and bought in to doing the other things that matter. He's hitting the offensive glass strong. Our next guy is killing the offensive glass, but Julius Randle is helping him as well. And those are the keys to me to continue to go and have a great year. My next guy, Mitchell Robinson. Only 8 points per game. 10.7 rebounds per game. Obviously 1 assist, but he's giving us 2 blocks and a steal per game. He's shooting 70% from the field. Also 70% from the free throw line. Can't bat an eye at that. 70% is improvement from Mitchell Robinson. And he's giving us a +7 plus minus. And one thing I have to highlight with Mitchell Robinson is the fact that out of those 10.7 rebounds he's been averaging, 5.4 is on the offensive glass. So if you know anything about the Knicks, we're not the greatest three-point shooting team at all. But we take them because it's a part of the game right now. And we hit the offensive glass. Mitchell Robinson getting us those second, third opportunities to score is so big for us. Same thing with Julius Randle. Even though he's not getting as many offensive rebounds as Mitchell Robinson is, those extra possessions mean so much for a Knicks team that doesn't shoot the 3 ball like everybody else in the league. We have average shooters, right? We don't have a marksman where it's like, oh my gosh, that guy's going to shoot 42% from 3 this year. We just don't have it. Hopefully Quentin Grimes can become a 40% three-point shooter or something like that. But I think we don't need to rely on that as long as we have those extra possessions each game. And a lot of those possessions come from Mitchell Robinson. Jericho Sims is going to be a guy that's going to crash the offensive glass. Isaiah Hartenstein crashes the offensive glass. Julius Randle is not afraid to get down in there. You know what I mean? RJ Barrett can go down there and get a couple. And when we get those and we protect the basketball and we get into our shit, we're going to be able to hold our own on the offensive end. That's our biggest concern because defensively is what we're going to lay our hat on. But we are going to have to be able to score the basketball. And because we don't shoot the 3 as great, like I've said, the offensive glass is going to be the key. Protecting the basketball with a floor general like Jalen Brunson. And we have our moments. It came out last night against the Pacers where we just have these lackadaisical, unforced turnovers that can come back and bite us. But if we protect the basketball, we crash offensive glass, and we continue to get to the free throw line, we're going to be a very good team. We're going to be a damn good team. And then last but not least, the new starter, Quentin Grimes, is giving us 12 points per game, 5 rebounds. I love the way this guy rebounds, especially on the defensive glass. 2 assists, and he's shooting 50% from the field, 45% from 3, 82% from the free throw line, and he has a plus-minus of 11.3. And during this 7-game win streak, we're beating these teams by an average of 14 points per night. The closest game we had was last night against the Pacers, where we only won by 3. But everything else, we beat almost everybody else by double digits. The only other game we didn't win by double digits was the Bulls overtime game. We won 128-120. Didn't win by double digits, but we damn near did with an 8-point win in overtime. So I'm loving everything we're seeing. And then other things that don't necessarily correlate to us actually performing on the basketball court, but just in general. From 2023 to 2028, the Knicks have 10 first-round picks, and we have 7 second-round picks. We have 17 picks. The average age of the Knicks rotation over this 7-game win streak is 23.9. So we have a young team playing winning basketball with 17 picks over the next 5 years. 10 of those 17 picks are first-round picks. We have an Evan Fournier contract. We have a young guy who gets buzz and interest around the league in Cam Reddish. The Knicks are going to position themselves to be able to make a move. My only thing for the Knicks is let's not get desperate. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's continue to let this team work. Let's continue to push along with this win streak. Our next 4 are at home. We just went on the road and did our thing. The next step is to play better at home because we're 7-7 at home. No reason for us to be a 500 team playing better on the road than at home. Good teams protect home court, and have the ability to go on the road and win games. So we have to start picking up our home performances. With this next stretch, we got the Warriors, the Raptors, two games against two teams that can come out and beat us on any given night. So I want to continue to see us on this stretch, even if we don't have. So I know this winning streak is going to end at some point. I want to see us be able to win at home against other seasoned teams. The Warriors have not been good on the road, and they won't have Steph Curry. So I want to see the Knicks go out there and apply pressure. The Raptors have struggled. They just lost at home against the same Warriors team that isn't good on the road without Steph. So I definitely don't want to see them come into our garden and beat us there. And then we play the Bulls again, who we just dog walked. So we should continue to beat up on the Bulls. I want to see that from this team because the Knicks have that type of history where they do the hard shit, they do the impressive shit, and then they do something that just makes you scratch your head. Like, how do we beat a team like this? The Cavs. How do we have the Cavs look the way that we had them look, and then we come and lose to a Warriors team with no Steph? So we got to get over those humps, and I'm interested to see what type of move we're going to make. We've been aggressive at the trade deadline. We're past the December 15th mark, so the guys are eligible to get traded around the league. But we definitely need a good move, a non-desperate move. There's no reason to go out and be hitting up the Wizards about Bradley Beal. There's no need to be going out trying to get the Zach LaVine trade right now. But there's definitely a move to be made, and I'm interested to see what way the Knicks choose to go. And I'm also interested to see what happens when Obi Toppin returns. Because right now we got a 9-man rotation. We have our 5, and then we have Quick, Hartenstein, McBride, and I feel like I'm forgetting somebody else. Maybe Jericho Sims. But I know Reddish isn't in it, Rose isn't in it, Fournier isn't in it. So I don't know who I could be forgetting. It'll maybe come to me later. But yeah, we have a solid 9-man rotation right now. Obi Toppin returns. I'm interested to see how that's going to look because not a lot, but some of our defensive, laps came from Obi Toppin. He gave us a spark for sure, but he has to tidy it up on the defensive end of the basketball. Cam Reddish the same way. That's why we hold him accountable because he had a few great moments on defensive end, but he had a lot of laps off ball as well. So I want to continue to see us tied it up. The Knicks, we rolling. Hopefully I can make another one of these videos next week around Christmas. And I'm like, hey, 10-game winning streak going into Christmas. The Knicks are number 3 in the East, and we pushing and we rocking, we rolling. Hopefully everything continue to lock in and click in. But right now is a great time to be a Knicks fan. I'm as happy as I can be. I think we on to something, and I think we can be a team that can scare somebody in the first round of these playoffs. As always, though, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm Pee Wee the Plug. This is NBA Weekly. Go Knicks. I'm out. Peace.